You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I'm your host, Alexander Joyce. With me today is Angie Paisley. She is our Medicare director as well as office manager when it comes to our processing division. So it's really exciting to have you here. We're talking about Medicare. We've been talking about Medicare for a long time because in my professional experience and opinion, this is a piece that people seldomly, because it starts to really kick in at 65, we don't plan for it ahead of time. We talk about being proactive. We talk about being an actively managed firm. We talk about financial planning and the legs underneath that stool. And I firmly believe Medicare is one that should be considered. It should be one that is should be evaluated. And I think number one, you should work with someone that is educated on the topic of Medicare, right? I am not, and that's why you're here. I am not. I know Medicare. I know enough to be dangerous. And that's why I'm like, hey, let me go get Angie because she'll better, right? I'm like, where's Angie at? Because, people, a lot of times they kind of wait, right? They wait until they're just right there at the door to retire, because 65 is when a lot of people take retirement extremely serious, or they think they're behind, or they're just ready to go. And so we know what Part A, we talked about being hospital. We know Part A being medical, right? And so we jump into this area where it starts to get really confusing. The Medigap plans, right? Also known as the Medicare supplement.
Yes.
And so maybe give us some detail about what is that?
Well, a common misconception with Medicare is that it's going to cover all of your health care. And unfortunately, that is not the case. There's certain things that just simply aren't not covered. For example, only 3 pints of blood are covered. If you get a transfusion, there's a good chance they're going to need more than 3.
I'd say so.
So we have what we call Medigap supplements, and what those do is they bridge the gap, and they take care of things that the insurance is not going to cover.
That easy.
It's that easy.
I think for our show, what we like to do is keep things super simple. It doesn't matter if I'm talking to 10,000 people, an audience of 10, right? I mean, we really want to T-sheet this thing and keep it really simple, because as I've always said, we want people to do something with this information, make it tangible to palate, if you will, because whether it's with your advisor or you walk in the office and you meet with us, we want to show you how simple it is, but we want to execute in a timely frame. But we want you to be able to understand it to the best you can, right?
Definitely.
I think Medicare is one of those things when you start looking at the differences between plan types. The most common misconception, if you will, misunderstanding, is that the Medigap or the supplement plans are, what's the right word? They're all the same. Right? I mean, the government has made it so that every plan, whether it's N or G or the old F, right? They cover the same thing, but they all cost, most of them, from different insurance companies, whether it's Humana or whether it's Aetna or whether it's Medico, right? They cost something different.
Correct.
And maybe kind of walk us through why that is.
Yeah. So just to clarify, like an N is going to be different than an F. Each of them have different benefits that they offer, different coverages, and some of them at different levels. That pint of blood that I referenced might be covered at 100% under one plan, 50% at another. So they're slightly different, but as far as N to N or F to F, exactly the same. It's just like putting gas in your car. Doesn't matter where you go, you're getting the same gas.
And do they, I'm going to interrupt you, I'm just curious, right? I've heard that a lot of these plans come with like additional perks like a gym membership. Right? That may be silly, but is that true?
Not typically for the supplements. You can find that inside of a lot of Advantage plans, and there are some things that include it, but not generally with the supplements.
They call those like well-being benefits, kind of like incentives to stay healthy, right? Because the average cost and the premium, there's something to be said about health, right? If you are being proactive about your health, you're able to keep premiums down, and it's a benefit for the actuaries to be able to account for the dollars and cents. And I think that's interesting. We want to get into the weeds of how that works. But I think the most important thing, Angie, for our viewers to really understand, and the big takeaway for me is, don't, just like we talk about Social Security, don't take it in a vacuum. You really shouldn't wait and delay. You should get educated. You should take some time and understand the benefits, the dynamics of each individual plan, and understand whether it's a supplement or an advantage with no premium, and the pros and cons, the advantages. And that's exactly why we're here.
That's right.
We're here to educate people, make sure they can make sound decisions, and that's what we do for the public.
That's right. And the only thing I want to add on that, Alex,
Sure.
quit listening to your friends.
How about
You're
that?
going to listen to your neighbor, you're going to listen to your cousin, and they're going to say, I've got this supplement, it's the best thing ever. I'm on this Advantage plan,
Yeah.
best thing ever. Maybe for them. Talk to an agent, make sure that you have the same needs, same medication, and it's the best for you as well.
Angie Paisley, you're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. We'll be right back after this message.